So this video says, watch out for Beachbody's new body positive grift. Ugh. Beachbody has been tanking for years. RIP Beachbody. Let's check this out. How many of you did P90X? A lot of you probably started working out with P90X. Famous program.
Watch out for Beachbody's new body positive grift. Tell us about it, Jen.
Last week at Beachbody's leadership conference, they announced a new marketing strategy.
Oh,
they are
God.
changing from Beachbody to Just Body, and they are now.
Wait a second. Someone Google that. Is that legit?
They are changing from Beachbody to Just Body, and they are.
I'm sorry, what? They're changing it from Beachbody to just Body? Wait, what? Someone Google that. Look it up. Look it up. See if that's real. What, the company's just going to be called Body? Yeah, it's just MLM. It's just a multi-level marketing. Wait, what?
They are changing from Beachbody to Just Body.
Someone look it up.
They are now body positive, promoting health esteem, and eating all of the dessert.
Oh, they're going to go bankrupt.
So,
oh, shit.
Now that they're body positive, they are not going to be selling any diets. They're not going to be talking about over-exercising. And
is that real?
They're going to be really valuing fat bodies, right?
No.
No, just no. Nothing.
Just
nothing
no.
like that. No. So they think that body positivity is what?
Is eating more dessert.
Yeah. That's why you're fat, because you're eating garbage food. Oh, I don't want to admit it to myself. Enjoy your Twinkies.
Yeah, reasonable.
If it's Shakeology.
Yeah, eating more dessert,
BODI?
but it has to be their bullshit Shakeology shake mixture, which is overpriced and doesn't taste great. So this is just a grift from Beachbody to sell more shit, because
you don't say. You mean a marketing company is going to market? Oh, no. No one. Beachbody's been grifting for fucking years. That's what it does. It's a marketing company that markets fitness. It's not a fitness company. A lot of people think it's a fitness company. It's not a fitness company. You're thinking about it wrong. It's not a fitness company. It's a marketing company that promotes fitness products. It's a multi-level marketing company that does fitness. So people just think about it wrong.
Why is it that they need to sell more shit?
Because their stock market's tanking.
Yeah, their stock prices have gone
down. Everything's going down.
They're making a really smart decision to try and capitalize off the social justice movement, which is...
Guess who's also capitalizing off the social justice movement? This fierce fucking fatty. This fierce fatty bullshit. You are. Fierce fatty. That company or whatever the fuck this video is coming from. That's what's capitalizing. Fucking stupid. Fucking hypocrites.
Fat liberation, also known as body positivity.
Grift.
And Jen knows a lot more about it.
We can tell.
So go and have a look at Jen's page.
I won't. Okay, very nice. Excellent.
Matt Damon.
So someone said it's BODI. So it's BOD capital and then I lowercase. So BOD. Yeah, BODI, not Beachbody. It's multi-level marketing, which is not the same as a pyramid scheme, but it's pretty close. I mean, people at the top are going to make the most money. Body on demand. So BOD and then I. Jesus Christ, that's terrible. Wow. So you're leaving all your market. Wow. Yeah, that's... How much time do you think until that company's gone? Like completely gone? Jesus, fuck. What a terrible move. What a terrible move. There are a lot of poor decisions that have happened over there. Okay, let's go a little tainty, man. So I used to do I used to do some master training classes and seminars and stuff, workshops because this is as the earliest. This is when they first did it. So I was interested. I was down with this. So I was working with NASM in a school. I was teaching personal trainers. We're preparing students for the NASM certifications, the PES, the CES, and the CPT. So I taught that for years. Got hooked into Beachbody because they wanted to bring P90X to gyms. They wanted to bring P90X programs to gyms, which originally is a cool idea, right? It's a cool idea. So you're bringing P90X to a fitness facility. So rather, here's how it started, and this is why I was interested in it. You're bringing real fucking training, because whatever you think of, there's a lot of errors in P90X, a lot of movements that aren't really a good idea to do. But all in all, it was like the first fitness program that was actually fucking like hard work. It wasn't like some bullshit, whatever. So pay attention. This is important. So if you did P90, like you remember, it was a lot of push-ups and pull-ups. It was hard. It was hard the way it was designed. That's why it worked. So it was the original home training that actually fucking worked. So got hooked into it. I'm not going to go into the whole story, to bring P90X to gyms around the country and essentially certify the trainers at those gyms so they can actually understand how to program P90X, with the backbone of NASM constructs and NASM, approach to activation, isolation, X, Y, and Z. So originally it was literally educating people on how to implement P90X. And then over the course of like the next couple years, it turned into just another group exercise class, and they completely bastardized the program, and I lost all interest. It was horrible. It was awful. And that's just the truth. Why am I on the tainted cam still? So originally it was, hey, we are implementing and teaching people how to execute the P90X program in gyms. It's like, that's a really cool idea. You're actually going to take group exercise and not make it shitty and actually integrate like real training. That's a cool approach. But then they eventually morphed it into like the synchronized music group exercise class. And it just became like different rounds of workouts. It just, with the branding of P90X, it was not P90X at all. So I lost all interest in it and eventually faded out with the company, and just it was awful. It was just terrible. So they ruined it. They took good branding and they shit all over it. But the thing is, with these types of multi-level marketing and pyramid schemes and things like BeachBody, is that they always need a product. So they never really developed anything completely. They just came out with another one. They had P90X, and then they had to come out with P90X2. Then they needed P90X3. And then they needed, I don't know, whatever the fucking next thing, because you needed things for your coaches to sell down line. So you always needed products. So rather than focus on quality, guess what happens with quantity? It just completely, you have to come up with all these other ideas and fringe things. And it's the constant just bastardization, and they just lost their way. If they just focused on P90X and like literally, if they just focused on that, fuck all the other shit. If they just focused on that, if they like literally made that was like the whole, I'm saying if that was like the whole thing, if they didn't do like all these other Pio, like Pilates, if they didn't do all this other fucking shit, right? If they didn't do all the other shit, I'm just telling you, if they focused, if BeachBody was like the company behind P90X and they just fucking did that. I know they had P90X3, P90X4. If they did it differently, if they did it better, and honestly, the way that we're doing Inside Swole, if they had the program and they kept on adding new stuff to that program and developing P90X, not making it 2, not making it P90X3, if they made it P90X, boom. And then everything under P90X, it would still be solid. It might not have gotten as big as it did, but they would have been a solid, it would have been, the brand would have been preserved. So people are always looking for distribution. They went wide. They didn't go with depth, and they just kept on. Yeah. It's just the hot air balloon is bursting and they're falling apart. Because that was the real brand. That was a real brand. I know Insanity was popular, but there's no logic behind it. Insanity was like the worst programming, lack thereof. It was just, and I know people like that kind of shit. It was not, there was no programming whatsoever. There was no logic behind it. P90X actually had a structure. Insanity did not. It did not. It was not a well done program. It was really hard for the sake of being really hard, but it wasn't like a real functional program. High injury rate. It was like CrossFit. I never liked that program. There was actually some things that I was doing. I had like the Insanity. Like I think we did some of those masterclass for Insanity. I fucking hated Insanity. I hated that shit. I hated doing work with insanity. I hated that shit. Anyway, so P90X was a good brand. They ruined it. And that's my thought on it. And it doesn't mean they can't have other programs, but they should have made they shouldn't have had P90X and boom, boom, and all these other things. They went too wide and they lost their sight. P90X was, and you guys remember, this is like what, early 2000s, mid 2000s? If you guys remember, this is like when social media was like, it was like real early, like Facebook was just kind of getting started, like early 2000s. If you guys remember how big P90X was, like all the commercials, but athletes were doing it, like they fucking had it. And then they lost sight of I think they just got cocky. They probably had a lot of money coming in and they just expanded and they lost it. Beachbody became some sort of like, because what happens is, and let me be serious about this, there is a place for things like Pyo or yoga and Pilates. There's a place for that kind of shit. But a lot of people's first touch point with yoga was P90X. You should have done that yoga stuff under P90X. You should have done it all under that brand. No one cared about fucking Beachbody. It was P90X was the brand. That was the company. That was what launched it. Not originally, but that was like the big pop. So you had athletes, you had hardcore people that were like swearing by it, that loved P90X. And then what'd you do? You went for like the fucking soccer moms. And then you went to like people that wanted to like lose, like, you know, they're 400 pounds and like drinking fucking the shakes and shit. And you went for like these other baby entry, like you pussified it. You pussified it. I mean, that's just objectively what happened. So like, should have stick with that hardcore, should have stick with that. And if anything, you break off something else and you create a different company or something, you know? I mean, but it should have been, yeah, it just ruined it. Like P90X could have been an app, right? P90X could have been an app. P90X could have been, they could have opened gyms. Like they should have opened gyms that were like P90X gyms. And imagine you look on the outside, you walk up, it just says P90X. That could have been franchised. That could have been their multi-level. They could have shotgunned that around the country and done P90X. And in that, every single day was a structured part of the program. It starts every 90 days and they offset it. Like, so you have like one, it starts on, let's say January 1st, then you have another round that starts the next week, or you offset it. Like you start a P90X cycle every 2 weeks or something like that. And you have like the classes or whatever, you stagger them in different days or whatever it is. But you have all the tools to execute the program. You have people that are educated and the workouts are literally done just like the program. And you could develop it and you can tweak it. Like that's the way they should have done it. And then they could have, rather than trying to educate trainers and trying to do this certification bullshit in gyms, there's no quality control. Like there's no quality. I know I'm going on a rant here, but there's no, I literally was at the foundation of them starting to do this. They should have created, because they had no quality control. They had no consistency. So the brand just got fucking bastardized. It just got shit everywhere. You have a certification. There was no consistency with how it was done. Then they tried to make consistency with these little stupid round group exercise things, and it sucked. It wasn't the program. It was just the name of it. It was a joke. So anyway, that's what should have happened. Man, if you look at the timing, they could have just bought out Bally's. Remember all the Bally's went out and LA Fitness was buying a lot of the Bally's when Bally Total Fitness went out? They should have just bought those gyms or all that real estate that was already set for training. All right. Like it could have been a P90X gym. They could have had a membership where you go in and just train, but it could have been like the focus could have been like, I honestly think it should have just been like the group exercise, but like you had stations, right? You have every station, you have like a power block, or you have dumbbells, you have the band, you have the pull-up bar, like you have just stations. You go into the room, the workout area, it's hardcore and make it look like the set. I'm ranting here. Like, cause this would have been a great idea. You make the gym look like the set of the program, like metal, like the dark and like, steel rafters and shit like that. Kind of like CrossFit, but make it look better. Not like just a fucking warehouse. So you make it look like this. So you're going to the workout and it feels like you're in the DVD. Like it feels like, or you're in the locker room, whatever the fuck the background was, or you make it a little bit better. It feels like you're on the set. You have the fucking music, you have the timer, you have the big fucking, you don't have to play the video, but you can have like the timer on there. You get like an enthusiastic instructor, and they're a dime a dozen. You get really quality people. Like that would have been cool. It's like you're going on the set of P90X, you're going in for a workout. It's like I'm going into the DVD. Like that would have been fucking sweet, right? It just sounds fucking awesome thinking about it, but you know, missed opportunity.